Have you ever heard a silence so deep it feels like everyone forgot to breathe? That's what happened one cloudy afternoon inside a training hall in Lyon, France. A group of English teachers sat waiting for a guest lecturer, a man from a small island in the Philippines. Many of them had never even heard a Filipino accent before. To them, English was supposed to sound either British polished or American perfect. And then, the screen lit up. A man appeared, smiling shyly. "Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miguel. I'm from Iloilo, Philippines." There was a soft laugh in the room. Someone whispered, "His accent, it's different." But within 2 minutes, something shifted. The laughter faded. The teachers began to lean forward, because the way he spoke, calm, sincere, steady, felt different, not perfect, but real. When he said, "Language is not about perfection, it's about connection," the room fell completely silent. In that moment, something began. A bridge between two worlds, one built on logic and precision, and another built on empathy and soul. That day, France discovered a new kind of English, not one you learn from Oxford, but one you feel from the heart of the Philippines. Claire Duval had been teaching English for over 20 years. She knew every grammar rule, every tense, every sound that was supposed to be correct. But that night after Miguel's talk, she couldn't sleep. Her daughter Juliet's words echoed in her head. "Mom, my Filipino teacher told me, it's okay to sound kind." Kind. No one had ever taught her that before. She sat at her desk replaying Miguel's video. He wasn't selling confidence, he was living it, through humility. "Language," Miguel said, "is not power. It's presence." Those words hit her like thunder. She realized how often she had made students feel small, correcting every sound, every accent, chasing an ideal that wasn't even human. So she did something she hadn't done in decades. She enrolled in an online English class, with a Filipino tutor. When the Zoom call began, Claire expected a polished voice. Instead, she heard laughter, warmth, and the sound of waves faintly behind the microphone. "Bonjour, Claire," the teacher said cheerfully. "I hope you don't mind my Filipino accent, it's the only one I have." Claire smiled. "I don't mind, at all." In the first 5 minutes, she noticed something extraordinary. This teacher didn't rush, didn't correct her like a drill sergeant. Every pause felt like an invitation, not a judgment. "Take your time," he'd say softly. And in those words, Claire found peace. They practiced for weeks. Sometimes talking about grammar, sometimes about life. He'd say, "You French people love structure, we Filipinos love stories." And Claire would laugh. "Maybe that's why I needed this lesson." For the first time, she realized English could be gentle. It could feel like conversation, not competition. Claire began applying what she'd learned from her Filipino tutor in her classroom. She replaced strict correction with encouragement. "Try again," she'd say with a smile. "You're almost there." Her students began responding differently. They spoke more, they smiled more, they believed more. One morning, a shy student named Leah raised her hand. "Madame, your English sounds softer now." Claire paused. "Softer?" Leah nodded. "Like it's smiling." That's when Claire realized tone carries emotion, not just sound. She began researching Filipino English and found thousands of stories online. French learners writing, "My Filipino teacher taught me to enjoy mistakes. Their voice feels like home. I don't feel judged. I feel understood." France wasn't just learning English. France was learning empathy through English. Claire's journey wasn't about grammar, it was about courage. Filipino tutors teach that growth comes from embracing imperfection. For French learners, this means letting go of the myth of the perfect speaker. The Filipino approach is gentle, focusing on encouragement over criticism. Mistakes are data, not failures. This dismantles the shame that kept so many silent. Classrooms become places of exploration, not evaluation. Empathy leads the way. Trust makes risk-taking possible. Real learning happens in this safe space. The lesson goes beyond language. Vulnerability is courage, not weakness. For Claire and others, every attempt is an act of self-acceptance. Their voices may not be perfect, but they are real. And that's what truly matters. The embrace of the Filipino English accent reflects a deeper cultural shift in France. French society is moving toward empathy, authenticity, and connection. Old hierarchies and rigid codes are being questioned. People value genuine conversation over polished performance. The Filipino accent is more than a sound, it's empathy in action. It represents a new way to communicate, making others feel safe and understood. This shift is visible in workplaces, families, and now, language learning. Choosing a Filipino tutor is a choice for emotional connection. It's about redefining what it means to be good at something. Technical mastery matters less than heart and intention. By embracing warmth and kindness, French learners make a statement. How we speak to each other matters. Kindness is a new form of fluency. The bond between French learners and Filipino tutors often grows into genuine friendship. Lessons become spaces for sharing stories and building cultural bridges. Tutors become confidants, mentors, even family. Trust and vulnerability create deep loyalty and affection. Learners celebrate tutors' milestones. Tutors champion students' progress. The connection goes beyond language. It's about belonging. In a disconnected world, these friendships remind us of our shared humanity. The language lesson is just the beginning. The true destination is connection. Tutor and student become part of each other's stories. In a modern sense, they become family. France's heartwarming revolution is sparking a global movement. Other countries are rethinking rigid standards of perfect English. The focus is shifting to supportive, empathetic learning environments. The Filipino accent challenges the old hierarchy of superior accents. It celebrates global English, diverse, inclusive, and clear. Non-native speakers worldwide find validation in this story. Filipino tutors give permission to own one's accent with pride. The real lesson? Be a kinder listener. Listen for the person, not just the words. Every accent is a story of courage. The revolution invites us all to speak with heart and listen with empathy. What began as a trend is now a revolution of the spirit. France's love for the Filipino accent is about the human need for connection. The best learning tools are empathy, kindness, and safe spaces. This movement redefines fluency, not as perfection, but as connection. True fluency is expressing yourself authentically and listening with an open heart. Filipino tutors are masters of this new fluency. A new generation of French speakers is more confident and globally minded. Claire leads meetings with her true voice. Amélie faces the world with courage. Their stories prove that empathy unlocks human potential. This is a beacon of hope in a divided world. Sometimes revolutions begin with a gentle voice saying, it's okay. Try again. I am here with you. This is the sound of daring to connect. And it's changing not just how we learn, but how we live.